All right, you guys, I know it's a little bit late, but I got to make this video before the next episode drops. But I am literally shook. I was completely wrong about my assessment before. Marianne coming out swinging huge. And I did, say in my previous video that, yeah, I think Marianne doesn't really have a great chance of winning this game. But if she makes a big power move in the next episode or two, then she definitely has a really good shot. Obviously, this changes the dynamics totally. And I'm going to have to totally reassess who I think is going to win this game, because I think everybody at this point is pretty convinced that Marianne is going to be the winner. Let's talk about, is that actually going to happen? I'm going to kind of go through some different scenarios and try and predict who I'm going to pick as my winner pick for Survivor Season 42. And I'm really conflicted now. It's so close. This last episode has really thrown things up in the air, so I have to figure out who I'm going to be choosing as a potential winner pick. Obviously, huge things to note during this last episode. Marianne playing her extra vote was very, very well done. Apparently, it was like the first time an extra vote has really been used correctly ever, and huge move for her. Lindsay, honestly, not playing the idol, and Omar just being okay with her not playing her idol was just so, it didn't make any sense at all. It was very frustrating to watch that. That was a huge, huge mistake. Really bodes very poorly for her, because she is in so much danger next episode. If she had Omar in the next episode, he would be able to act basically as kind of a shield for her. And so that was a huge blunder. Really opens up the game a lot. And Omar going out, I think we all kind of predicted it. He had such a dazzling edit, whatever the terminology is. Basically, it would seem too good to be true. Like, we knew he was going to go home at some point. And so now we see the downfall of King Omar. Awesome game played by him. He did a great job. Really was really good. I can't really ever see him playing Survivor again, because if he ever comes back, he's just going to get immediately voted out. I would love to see him play again and see what he can do. But honestly, a terrific game by Omar. Golf claps around for everybody. So let's look at some pictures from this week's Reddit. The monster. I don't even remember what the context was for Jeff making this face, but I remember during that scene, I was like, oh my God, Jeff looks super scary. Somebody posted this picture of Omar and in the emu switched. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We now know what Marianne was looking at. It's just the Jeff. Omar apparently tweeted this, and I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. Classic villain. Awesome villain play by Omar. Just terrific. If there's a heroes versus villain season, he needs to be back for sure. Like a wholesome, amazing human being playing the game so strategically, like he basically was a villain, but at the same time, you can't help but root for him because he's such a likable guy. This matchup would make the most fitting Final Four fire-making face-off. Finally uploaded Jonathan's monkey run gif. I'm glad this is going to be forever immortalized in the Survivor meme history. Romeo finally voted correctly, laughing my ass off. Omar, I was Survivor confident. Hi, LOL, join the club. Marianne's merry plan worked. We have no choice but to marry Stan. Gotta Mary hand it to her. I'm definitely a Mary fan now. Hope she doesn't get Mary canned. Let's take a quick look at the Survivor TV ratings. So this episode, we went up to 5.7 million viewers, up from 5.37 last episode. And just comparing that to Survivor Season 42, at this episode, we had 5.697. So we're actually just barely a tiny bit higher than Survivor Season 41. And overall, I think that's a big accomplishment, because this season only started with 4.9 million viewers, and Survivor Season 41 started with 6.24 million viewers. So obviously, the editing and the production and the cast for this season has really done a huge job in making sure those numbers and ratings stayed high. And so very happy with these numbers from Survivor's standpoint. Now let's go on to our tier list. This was my tier list previously. And now, obviously, King Omar has fallen. So what is our ranking going to be looking at at this point? And actually, I think Marianne was down here for me earlier. Really going to have to change this up a lot. Marianne, at this point, I'm starting to believe the hype too. Can you really jump from C tier all the way to S tier in one episode? I think she might have done it. And honestly, is she above Lindsay? That's the one thing I got to decide, because I got to choose my one winner pick who I think is going to win this game. Romeo and Jonathan still, zero shot at winning. I think that it's pretty obvious at this point. And Mike, I honestly think has like a less than 2% chance at winning as well. Really comes down to these two people, and they have such high winning potential. The thing is, I have to try and guess what is going to happen in the next episode. So Marianne and Mike both have idols, right? And Lindsay and Jonathan are probably the most likely to win immunity. So say one of the two of them wins. So if Jonathan wins, then it almost seems guaranteed that Lindsay's going to have to go home, right? On the other hand, if Lindsay wins, it seems guaranteed that Jonathan's going to have to go home. So, it might be really switched up if neither of them win, if somebody else totally random wins. And it's possible, but so far we have not seen that in this season so far. I don't think there's any shot of Romeo going home. He's definitely going to make it to final 3. He's going to be the GOAT that nobody really respects, doesn't think they can win. And so he's going to be automatically brought to the final 3. In which case, we've got multiple scenarios that could happen. Like who's going to be the next 2? So Mike and Marianne are definitely going to make it to the next tribal. And to be honest, I feel like they potentially might still think of Jonathan as being a huge threat, even though I really don't think he has a shot at winning the game. There's something about being a big guy on Survivor that really paints a big target on your back. And I don't know if Lindsay really has a huge target on her back. She is on the outs now because she lost her ally Omar, but maybe they think that she's the weaker player because of that. And she might also win immunity as well. So let's say she makes it to top 3. Now, Romeo, again, is going to be guaranteed to make it to top 3. And at this point, it's going to be a fire-making challenge. And at this point, who's going to win immunity? Most likely it's going to be Lindsay again. And then these two will have to do a fire-making challenge. Who's going to win that? I don't really know. It's probably going to be Mike, to be honest, out of these two. But let's say somehow Marianne and Lindsay both get to the end. Well, if that's the case, I think Marianne definitely wins over Lindsay in that scenario. Because think about who's going to be voting for Marianne. Drea and Chanel, Roxroy, Tori, probably Hai, because I think Hai would probably be a little bit bitter about Lindsay playing a role in voting her out. I think Omar would definitely vote for Lindsay. Maybe Jonathan, maybe Mike. But I feel like Marianne really has a big chance of getting way more votes than Lindsay would. And, honestly, Mike and Jonathan might vote Marianne too, because, I feel like it's really a toss-up for them. I don't feel like they were particularly much closer to one over the other. Maybe Jonathan would vote Lindsay. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to tell, but I feel like Marianne basically has 4 votes guaranteed here. If we go back to this stage and Jonathan wins, then Jonathan probably wins the next challenge again, and then Marianne and Mike have to face off. In that case, Marianne's probably going to go home, right? But I don't think this is the situation, because I already said that none of these people have a chance at winning. So I don't think this is going to be our final 3 combination. So if Jonathan wins and Lindsay goes home in the next episode, I 100% think that Marianne is going to win, no matter if she goes against Jonathan or Mike. Mike's played a social game, but I think Marianne has just so many votes in the bag. So really, the big situation is if Lindsay wins the next challenge, Jonathan pretty much is a lock to go home. And then at that point, Lindsay has a really good chance of winning immunity again. And even if she doesn't win immunity, who's going to win it? Probably Mike, right? Or if Marianne wins it, in which case Mike probably wins firemaking. So, Marianne would be up here in the final 3. She would win in this combination. And then if Mike wins immunity, then Lindsay will probably beat Marianne in firemaking as well. So I think Lindsay would win in this combination. So honestly, overall, I still think Lindsay's going to be the most likely to win. Marianne's going to get knocked out by Mike in the firemaking, and this is going to be our final 3. So you know what? I think I'm going to go with that. I think Marianne's played a fantastic game. She really has so many potential combinations of where she makes it to the final 3, she will win. So 100%, if she makes it to final 3, even if Lindsay is there, Marianne is going to win. But I think there are multiple scenarios where she may not necessarily make it to the final 3. She may lose in firemaking, which is pretty likely, or maybe she will make a great fire, who knows? Or maybe she'll win immunity at final 4. If any of that happens, she 100% wins. But you know what? I'm going to keep Lindsay as my number 1 pick, with Marianne being a very close number 2. Marianne has so many routes and avenues to winning, and she has so many votes in the bag. So she is a very obvious winner pick at this point. I think there is still the chance that she doesn't make it to final 3, in which case Lindsay would easily win this game. And, I'm going to go with this as the final 3. But I think it would be very exciting if both of them make it. It will be a pretty close vote, but I think Marianne will definitely take it if it's those 3 in the top 3. So final ranking: Romeo 0 shot at winning, Jonathan 0 shot at winning, Mike pretty much no shot. I'm going to keep both of them in S tier. It's hard for me to not pick her as the number 1 pick after that last episode, and her edit, to be honest, has truly been amazing ever since, you know, that one episode where she was kind of annoying people. Lindsay's edit has been a little bit worse recently, so I probably should be picking Marianne to be winning this game because Lindsay's made some mistakes at this point. But I'm still going to stick with my guns. I'm going to stick with Lindsay for now. Maybe be a little bit of a counterpoint to everybody who says Marianne's going to win this game. I would not be surprised at all if she does, though. Definitely has a huge percentage chance of winning. And so this is going to be my final power ranking until we go into the finale tomorrow. Excited to see what happens. Hope you guys have fun tomorrow, and please let me know who you think is going to win this game and what your tier list would be. Really would love to hear your thoughts down below, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.